Sorry, no, sorry, no. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Today we are gonna be doing some DIYs. I love doing DIYs and I have so many around my apartment, but I usually never share this with you guys. I don't do like tutorials or anything like that on my channel. I just do them without filming because honestly it's just easier to do everything that I do without filming it, because it's another hassle to set up the camera and film everything. But today I decided that I wanted to share 3 quick DIYs that you guys can do to elevate your space and achieve certain looks at a more affordable price. So I have 3 projects planned, 2 that I can do with stuff that I have around my house, and then another we're gonna be recreating a viral TikTok DIY that I saw all over TikTok, and it looked so cool and I had to try it out. First things first, we're gonna go to Ikea and then we're gonna recreate each DIY, do everything, get it together, and at the end I'm gonna do the grand reveal of all 3 DIYs, so make sure to stick around till the end. Follow along to see how they turn out. We are here! Okay, you guys, we made it to Ikea. By the way, I never film while I drive with my hand. We were already in the parking lot, disclaimer. But we were just talking, it's the middle of May, almost June, and it's still so cold. Like, look how we're dressed. What's going on? Okay, let's see what we can find. Okay, so the first thing that we need for the DIY is this. The Lazy Susan is the Snuda right here. So we're gonna grab this. This would be for the little tabletop. So we're gonna grab that. Look at these. These are cute. I've never seen these before. Nice. So with the viral DIY, you literally only need 4 things. So it's a couple of pieces. First thing we found was the Lazy Susan, which was in the kitchen area. Now we're gonna try to find the planter and the little armrests for the sides, and that's it. No matter what time of day you come to Ikea, it's always full of people and everyone's always running. It's like they know where they're going and they want to get to it, because you know the marketplace, which is the level down below, it can get a little confusing. It's very much like a maze, but they be running. We got some slippers, $3.99 for the house. We've been looking for them.
Yeah.
Now this isn't an Ikea tour / shop with me, or like showing you around Ikea what's new, nothing like that, because we have a bunch of DIYs in this video. So if you want a video of me showing you guys around Ikea, showing you what's new, showing you what I recommend to get and stuff, definitely let me know, because I would like to do that too. They're having a spring sale until May 29th, and they have this rug. It's a little thin. They usually get wrinkled up, but if you have like a small room where you might want to put it, it's right now only $24, which is a great deal. So in the DIY, it said to get a planter that looked like this. I don't know if it was this one because I couldn't read the name on the video, but I think it is. And it's on sale, $10.99. So I'm gonna grab one of those. They got like a little fort. So if you guys saw my last video, you saw that I don't know if it was my last video or the one before that, shopping for my sister's nursery. And how cute would this be in the nursery? Let me test drive it. It's super comfortable. It's like a 10 out of 10. Sorry, no, sorry, no. How many stuffed animals? I don't think I've ever been on this side. You guys, this setup kind of gives me Nancy Meyers vibes. Look at the kitchen with the open shelving, and then this beautiful cupboard, and then the slipped covered white sofas. Maybe not the rug, not the coffee table, not that mirror, but I love it. Look at the fake wooden beams. So we actually came upstairs to the showroom because I believe this is where I'll find what I need for the sides of the little side table. for like the base. So let's see, because I think it's like a armrest cover, usually like a armrest tray. So let's see if I can find them. Okay, so I found them over here, a little hidden. It's the road by. It's like an armrest. So it would usually go over here. It's like an armrest tray for the couch, but I found them. I got two just in case. Okay, so we got everything. Now we're gonna go check out. All right. So we got all the materials we need. Shout out to the camera on the mirror reflection. You can probably see that. So I already removed all the stickers and tags that the items had. And what we're gonna use to glue it is I'm gonna use this Gorilla Glue Super Glue Gel. This works amazing. I've used it on a lot of woodwork that I've done before. And I'm also gonna be using a hot glue gun. I've seen a lot of people use like a special kind of glue bond, but I think this will work perfectly because of the material of the planter, and the back of the siding is actually fabric. That's what makes it so flexible. So I think it's gonna glue down perfectly. I'm sorry if the setup is not the best. I usually never film when I do my DIYs, especially in this apartment, because I don't have like a workstation, so I do it on the floor or wherever. I usually use my little kitchen peninsula too, so that's what we're gonna be using today. First things first, what I'm gonna do is grab one of the panels and we're gonna wrap it around the planter, see how it fits, see how much we need. So for the first one, we're gonna use the entire thing. And then once that's glued down, we're gonna grab the second panel that we have and we're gonna cut out just a piece, enough to cover this side of the planter, and then you have some left over to use in a future DIY or use it as an actual couch armrest. So I'm gonna put the glue all over the exterior rim. And once the glue is set, we're gonna wrap it around the planter like so and really press. We're gonna let that dry for a second, and what we're gonna do is measure out the amount of wood that we need from this one. And since it is fabric on the other side, I'm just gonna use a little knife to cut around one of the edges. So you see you're gonna be following these lines, but on the interior, so you're gonna bend it and cut wherever you need. So I measured that I need 7 strips of wood. So if you're using the same exact planter and same exact materials, then you need 7 strips, just so you know, for if you want to do it. Set that aside. Now we're gonna see if it was good enough. Something about this channel is that I'm gonna be 100% honest with everything, you guys. I was doing it and I had a little bit of a hard time gluing the separate part. And I went back and I looked at all the TikToks. And once they glue the additional piece that you need, they never show the back. So let me tell you what the issue is. Let me flip it around so that you can see it. So as you can see, I haven't finished gluing it down on this part because it kind of overlaps at the middle and it leaves a little gap right here. And no matter how you put it, we can like glue that down a little bit. It won't be flush. So what you're gonna need to do, I'm gonna show you right now how to fix this. Okay, so the gap is super small, but the way that we're gonna fix it is we're gonna cut one more strip and kind of like overlap it and create a seam. So I cut one strip, and what we're gonna do is just simply glue it like that. So once that little piece is glued down, what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna grab a shoelace or a string. You can use some zip ties, whatever you have in hand, and I'm gonna tie it around the base and make a tight knot so that it really holds it in place while the glue dries. So then all you really need to do is put the top. Some people remove the spinning part, but since it's gonna be floating in the middle, it won't really touch anything or bother anything, so we can just leave it. You wanna make sure that it's centered and just glue it around, put some glue around the trim. I'm gonna do that right now so that it really sticks in place. You could also just leave it like this without gluing it and use it as storage, but I don't really need storage, so I'm just gonna glue it for extra security and make it really, really sturdy. And there you go. Now I'm gonna set it down on the floor, put some heavy books or something on top to keep the pressure on the glue, leave the string, and we're just gonna let it rest for a little bit while we work on our other DIYs. So now we have the side table done. I'm not gonna show it to you guys until the end when I do the reveal of all 3 projects, but we're gonna move on to the second project, which is super easy, and it's a super cool way to recreate kind of like a vintage pottery look, kind of Olive Atelier vibe. So how to recreate these looks at a more affordable price on a budget. So I'm gonna tell you guys where I got everything, and let's get on to it. Okay, so this DIY I've actually done quite a few times before in my place. I have a few vases, I have a few lamps that I've done this technique to, and I'm gonna show you guys how to age a vase and give it that like vintage antique kind of look. What you need for this is to go to Ross or Marshall's, TJ Maxx, and get yourself some of the vases that they sell there. Try to go for kind of like a more vintage inspired shape. These are some beautiful Mexican vases. You can see that they're already super distressed. They have a lot of texture, but they feel pretty smooth and they look very clean for a vintage vase. So what we're gonna do is actually we're gonna be doing like a coat of mud. This is a super easy process. It's kind of like a mud bath that you do. Basically, you're gonna get some dirt and some water, just mix it up, create some mud, and then we're gonna be painting it onto the base, letting it dry, and then we're gonna be brushing off the excess. It's super, super easy. Let's do it. So first things first, I have this jar of dirt that I had left over from some previous projects that I've done. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some water in it to create that muddy consistency. So I set down some paper towels because it's gonna get really, really messy, and just with like the back of the brush, I mixed up the dirt with the water to create that mud-like consistency. And super easy, we're just gonna grab the brush, kind of like twirl it around and try to grab some of the mud into the brush, not just muddy water. And we're gonna start brushing it onto the vase. You can see it's gonna look super dark, it's gonna start dripping. Don't worry, just keep going. Try to go like in different directions and just get messy with it, get creative. Don't be perfect with it. The brush strokes actually make it come out super, super cool. So I'm just gonna go around the entire vase right here, and then I'm gonna show you once I'm done with that. Okay, so now we're gonna let this dry. It's already looking super cool, but you wanna let it fully dry. I'm gonna use a hair dryer to speed up the process. And once it's dry, you're gonna see if it's opaque enough for you or if you wanna do a second or a third coat of mud to really give it that texture. So right there, you can see what it's looking like now. It's almost fully dry. I do want to say that with every day that passes, the mud gets lighter and lighter and lighter. Let me actually show you guys a lamp that I did. So I had a few people actually DM me and message me asking me about this lamp that they saw in one of my videos. This is a lamp that I actually thrifted, and then I did this process. But first I actually did the baking soda and paint to give it the texture because it was smooth and glossy, and then I did the mud bath. But you can see that the color goes way lighter with time. However, if you give it a bunch of coats and you really get a thick layer of mud, it will stay really brown and really opaque. So it really depends on the amount of layers you want to do and how opaque you want it. But I'm gonna do a second coat of the mud, dry it again, and then I'm gonna rub off the excess and show you guys how I do that. So this is what the vase is looking like right now. It's so cool. Let me show you guys a little bit close up of the texture. But right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab a paper towel and super lightly, not putting that much pressure on it, I'm gonna rub off a little bit of this excess dirt and then really let it dry and sink in, and then I'll show you guys the final result at the end of the video. Alright, that was a cool DIY, super easy to do and such a big transformation with just one little step to get that super cool vintage look. But now let's move on to the third and final DIY that we're gonna be doing. And what we're gonna be doing is a painting. Now, these are not the paintings that we're gonna be doing right now, but these are two paintings that I've done myself in the past. I actually have done, except for one, I've done every single painting that's in my apartment. I think I have 25 paintings in my apartment, and 24 of those are painted by myself. Now, I'm not a painter, I'm not a fighter, never claimed to be a fighter, but I love painting. I've always loved painting, and I don't take it too seriously, you know, I just sit down and do it whenever I want to relax, whenever I want something different to do. These are just a couple of paintings. I have both of these in my room, and I just do these quick little paintings, and then I find some cool frames at thrift stores or flea markets, and sometimes I DIY them too. Like this one I painted myself gold, and I usually DIY all the frames too. But yeah, we're gonna be doing a landscape painting today. I'm gonna show you guys the process of how I do it. It's just to recreate those super cool like vintage prints and vintage art prints or actual pieces of art that I see around in so many designer homes. It's super easy, it's just having fun with it. There's no really right or wrong, there's no rules, and I'm gonna be just showing you guys how I paint one of my paintings. So for my paintings, I literally just use some acrylic paint that I have at home. I like to start with the backdrop. If I'm painting a landscape, I will usually start with the sky, start with the lighter colors, and then start incorporating the darker tones, the shades, and more vibrant colors. I like to work in layers as if I'm working all the way from the back of the painting and the landscape to the front. Then I go in with the fields or the lakes or the mountains or whatever I'm painting. There's really honestly not much thought process behind it. I like to let it flow naturally and see what comes out as I'm painting. I usually take a painting online or a picture that I really like and let that inspire what I'm gonna paint in the end. I have like a reference picture in the beginning, and then I just go off of my own imagination, I guess. But yeah, you'll see me using a hairdryer quite a lot during the process to speed up the drying process. That way I can work in more defined layers. You really gotta trust the process, see the painting start coming into shape. At first it might not look the best, but you gotta keep working on it and get there in the end. It usually takes me around 20 to 30 minutes to do one of these paintings, and I like to top it off with some shadows to really make those contrasts pop off. But yeah, that's basically all I do, and let me show you guys how it came out. Alright you guys, that was it for this week's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments down below which of the DIYs is actually your favorite. I love making all three of these. I think the side table, it came out beautifully. I think it gives it more of like a modern look to the space, but at the same time it's very classic because of the wood tone. I loved pairing it with that vase. I think that the mud bath process that we gave the vase really gave it that antique look. And I think the painting came out really good. I usually don't share when I paint, you guys, so it was kind of hard to do it and then film it at the same time, but I think it came out really well. I then had to go out and thrift a little 8x10 frame, and I just painted it because it was kind of like an ugly pink color and I wanted to have it more of that like vintage frame kind of look, so I just painted it really quick. But I think all three DIYs came out really good. They're super easy to do, super simple, super quick. So let me know if you guys do end up doing any of these DIYs in your space. I would love to check them out, and let me know down in the comments below which of these DIYs was your guys' favorite. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe if you're not yet, and I'll see you guys on next week's video. Bye guys.